This time around, someone else a lot worse has the Infinity Gauntlet. Welcome back to Fanfiction Universe, or whatever we're calling this. This is basically where we create a shared animated universe, but this time around it's going to be a little different in that we're expanding a little more because this is a giant event in and of itself. In that this is going to be our interpretation of Infinity Gauntlet, but with new characters.
And one in particular.
Yeah, considering who has the Infinity Gauntlet this time around. And that person is none other than Lord frickin' Zedd.
Mr. Inside Out Body Man himself. The most terrifying thing to come to children in forever. I remember the first time I saw him, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, so Lord Zedd, he is on a quest to find the gems and basically
rule the universe.
Yeah, basically.
Because it's not like with Thanos where it's like, oh, I can, I've secretly wanted to stop myself, or, I just want to wipe out half of the life on the universe. Zedd would be like, no, I want to control the universe and no one's going to tell me otherwise with this baby.
Right, exactly. And basically, in this universe, it's kind of a playoff of a shared universe we've created together for some of our fan fiction work, where we kind of bring everything into fandom and nerddom. It all exists in one universe. The only difference in this particular story is no actual real superheroes. So most of the, any DC and Marvel characters, they're not going to be involved. But other than that, it's open free reign to all of pop culture, nerd culture, geek culture, geekdom, if you will. And yeah, so I'm gonna let you start. This is your brainchild as always.
Yeah. So the whole to start it off is that Zedd's gonna go out and gotta find the gems. Right. He's heard about all this great power. He wants to get the Infinity Gems for himself. He's like, well, I found the gauntlet. Where to find them? So maybe have it like he follows all these rumors and whatnot, and he tries to track down the location of each gem because they're so separated throughout the universe. So the first one he goes after is the Space Gem, which would be on Cybertron, like hidden deep within Cybertron. And at this point, the Autobots and Decepticons are gone, but that doesn't mean Cybertron's is still uninhabited.
Insecticons could be there. And
Shockwave's
still there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of really cool to kind of see him, and of course he wouldn't be traveling alone. He'd bring like Goldar and whatnot.
Or riding in Serpentera.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. I didn't know you were gonna go that far. So exactly, he just kind of gets there to the planet, and we're just gonna get a lot of bad guy on bad guy action here. Not like that, guys. Stop.
Until he just plants that Space Gem in the gauntlet and goes, one down, 5 to go.
Imagine just the idea of Shockwave, realizing what he's going for, realizing what's on this planet, and him going, I want that. Yeah. We need that to fight the Autobots. So just them blasting each other with each other's powers, and, I can see it just, granted they're a lot smaller, but I could just see tons of putties just being used,
like dogpiling shot.
Exactly. Or just the Insecticons, just tons of them, just granted they're nothing, and he's freaking knocking them off, but just being overpowered by the waves and waves that he could just, Serpentera's mouth could open, they could just be all just
just vaporize a whole lot of them.
Dude, it would be fantastic to kind of see that happen. And if we ever put this to pen to paper, I think we should write them in installments and issues and start with that, because that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So when he gets the Space Gem, and at this point Shockwave would be like, hey, boss, guess what was on our planet, and guess who has it now?
Yeah, exactly. And just imagine at that point in time, now you would have to imagine Megatron's we need to get the rest of these.
Yeah. And Autobots would find out. Everyone's like, oh crap!
Yeah.
Get the gems!
This is when Megatron goes to Optimus and goes, we need to put this war on hold. This is what's going on. I need you and your friends, because mind you, this is a shared universe, so, Danny Phantom, Ben 10, they'd all know each other. They all know each other exists. He's like, you and your guys, me and our guy, we gotta stop this guy, because this is not good. We need to tell the Power Rangers now.
Yeah. Because now one gem's bad enough.
Right.
It's in the possession of Lord Zedd, and he's looking for the other 5.
Right. So this would just turn out to be like a hodgepodge where
everyone's hunting the
exactly, or going off on their own quest, trying to figure out where it is and things to that nature. So really awesome. And then you could probably get the likes of Starscream, who would realize that Zedd already had, technically with just one gem, he already is more powerful than Megatron.
And a lot of other people.
So I could see him maybe starting to feed intel to Zedd, telling him, like, let's say the heroes or the villains or whatever, they figure out where the next gem actually is. And this is how Zedd finds out where the next gem is. Because Starscream is going behind Megatron's back going, you know, Lord Zedd, you know, this is, you know, I follow you and only you. And then, you know, just
so he'd be like the Mephisto.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, exactly. And just basically feeding intel to Zedd, all the while, obviously, he wants the gauntlet. He's trying to figure out how he's going to get it. But he's definitely going to pull a fast one over on Megatron the first chance he gets, as always. So that would be pretty cool.
So the next gem he's going after is the Power Gem. And that, we kind of figured, well, you had the idea more, but it's like, it's on Eternia.
Right. Basically, we were thinking possibly it could be maybe the gem that's inside She-Ra's sword. We haven't really completely thought that part out, but just it being there and just kind of tying in that mythos as well. And just, again, once the likes of Hordak and or Skeletor or Snake King Hiss, you know, any of those major villains catch on to what's going on, you would assume everybody in the know, especially in the evil, would know of what these gems are. Everyone is, oh, it's just rumor. Oh, no, the
Infinity Gems are like, no one knows where they are because they're just myth.
Exactly. And then once it's found out that one has it, and then you're like, oh my god. And then the moment, again, Serpentera flies through the sky over Eternia, you know, and over Castle Grayskull, and Man-at-Arms is like, He-Man, we got a problem. Okay, and again, this would end up, I think, turning out to be He-Man and Skeletor looking at each other going, we have to put our differences aside. If this guy gets this second gem, we're all screwed.
Yeah. One gem's bad enough. Right. It's in the hands of one of the most psychotic people on the planet.
Right. One of the most powerful people on the planet, in the universe, and one of the most psychotic.
Yeah.
So, and then at this point, obviously, the Rangers, I think, would have caught on and be heavily tied in and would be trying to track down Serpentera. And they may even show up on Eternia. Okay, and they're the ones like He-Man. Let's say they beat him they get there before Serpentera flies over the sky, and they're trying to talk some sense into He-Man and Man-at-Arms and the King, and your planet is in grave danger. There's a stone hidden here somehow, and the sorceress could be like, yes.
Yeah, I hid it here.
Yeah.
Like, you could have it that there were these, like, you could have other cosmic beings like the sorceress or Jaga from Thundercats. Right. They all got together and said, we can't keep these gems together. We'll hide them throughout the universe.
And, and then she would explain how dangerous the idea of these gems are. And this could be the part within the comic where it's really getting explained to the heroes on how grave and how important this is. All the while, the Power Rangers explaining how dangerous Zedd really is, even without the stone. Okay, and I could just imagine like giant kaiju beasts going around trashing through Eternia trying to find it. He would make monsters grow, obviously trying to destroy their world to try to find it, maybe breaking apart Snake Mountain, and that's what gets Skeletor involved. He's like, I'm not getting involved, he's too powerful. You're better at the voice than I
am. My mountain. But yeah, so I can imagine the scene of just Zedd breaking She-Ra's sword, because that's where it would be. Is like he just rips the gem out, and he's like, "Later, I got the power gem now," and he just beats the shit out of everybody there.
Right. And nobody thought about it because it's just right there. So her and He-Man are there getting ready to face him. And say the Rangers are behind them as well, so they're all around. And then, she goes to hit him with the sword.
He's like,
and that's exactly what he wanted the whole time. He figured it out, and he's like, boom! And we kind of get that scene where, Cap's shield breaks, but it's her sword, okay? Or we could even say that, because the two swords are actually a one hold, actually. So let's say they go, well, apart we're not powerful enough to take him on. They could even put the swords together, and it doesn't matter who's wielding it at this point. It could be He-Man or She-Ra. They're both equally as powerful. But, let's just say she entrusts her brother with this power, he fuses the two swords, and just maybe this sword is powerful enough to stop the gauntlet and the one gem. And woo! Ha! Thank you!
Thanks, idiot!
Snaps it in half, grabs the gem, adds it. And not only He-Man devastated, because now it's his sister, and then they're both would be depowered.
Yeah.
Okay, and they would just be like, and it's just like, oh, snap. And this could be where some of the death starts to really happen. Maybe He-Man and She-Ra die. Yeah. And the Rangers are distraught and devastated because they didn't do anything to protect these guys from their their villain. So this could be like a really good, powerful, touching moment in the fan fiction where it's just like, this is where the death really starts to occur.
Yeah. But at that point, Zedd's like, after taking out He-Man and She-Ra, he's like, well,
the most powerful man in the universe couldn't stop me. What are the rest of you guys gonna do?
Yeah, the most powerful man, and I have only 2 gems. Just wait till I find the others.
Right.
And he takes off, and next on his list, he wants to find the next gem, which has been revealed. It's the reality gem. It's on Earth, and it's in the Mystery Shack. Now, for those who remember, in Gravity Falls Ford, Dipper Mabel's other great uncle and Stan's twin brother brought home this thing called the Infinity Die, which actually, when you roll it, it gives you a different probability. Like, it alters reality to a small extent. So I had it that the reality gem is inside this die. So he's like, oh, that's what I have to get? You've been hiding this, and none of you have any way of stopping me. But at that point, everyone would a lot of the heroes who didn't make it back to Earth are those who are still on Earth. Like the Rangers are still chasing after him. Like everyone's there to keep him from getting a 3rd gem.
Yeah, and then this is again where the all-out war really would start to begin. And we're once you're at 3 gems, you're halfway in. So this would be the halfway point where we're talking heroes are dying, Powerpuff Girls are getting slain, and all kinds of things could be happening.
Yeah, he is Zedd himself would be like, I'll just do it myself. Like I could just imagine, he actually, I could see that with the power gem and the space gem, he kind of empowers some of his putties to be, a little stronger.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like, oh, yeah, I can just punch this and they'll die.
Right,
it's more
exactly. They would be a lot more cooler. Goldar maybe takes on, a platinum look, maybe.
Yeah.
He could be white Goldar. But you had mentioned a scene that you envisioned, and I'm thinking of a really good setup to it where the idea of, again, He-Man was the most powerful thing that they had at the time. Putting the 2 swords together seemed like a game plan. Well, on Earth, they would go, oh man, well, Ben's already down. He doesn't have to be dead, but Ben is down. Danny's down. The Powerpuffs are down. Some of our heaviest hitters are down for the count. What can we do? Well, someone could be like, I know of something. He's powerful. He's a king. He has never been stopped. He's never been, even when he gets beaten, he comes back for more. And you're like, who? And I don't know who's doing the talking in this yet, but I'm going to let you take it from here.
So, when one of the heroes, maybe Kim or someone, hey, I know someone who might be able to drop him. And that someone is something called Godzilla. So, they sick Godzilla on Zedd, and he's like, bring it. Godzilla just blasts him full on with atomic breath, and the smoke clears. Everyone thinks they vaporize Zedd, and he's just like...
And at this point, you can just imagine the look. Because we all know Godzilla has personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Godzilla's like...
But yeah, right? The eyes would be big, and even he knows. He might seem like a mindless beast. He's not. He's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and at this point, I could see, he finally... Zedd has torn down the Mystery Shack, grabbed the Infinity Die, crushes it, and gets the gem out of it, slaps it on, and is like, on to the next one. And the next one he's going after is the Time Gem. But it's a little harder because someone's keeping it from him. Someone's trying his hardest to keep it away from him.
He's trying to hide it through time, if you will, maybe even.
And that person is the Doctor, who is... Who? Doctor Who. Who indeed? So the Doctor is hiding the gem in the TARDIS, his time machine. And he's hiding the Time Gem he's been hiding it for centuries. this thing I always knew was dangerous. I gotta keep it away from everybody. Now that Zedd has 3 gems,
I could even see maybe him going, okay, catching on to Zedd's after them.
yeah.
So now he's going, well, not only do I have it, but if we could turn the whole crossover into a time story now.
Yeah.
So essentially, he's hiding it through time, trying to stay ahead of Zedd, while Zedd is chasing him through time. You go, well, how is Zedd going to be able to go through time? Well, we could have him. He could go knocking on Doc Brown's house. He could be going, he can go to any numerous. I mean, we could do the time machine from I think it's H.G. Wells, right?
Yeah.
The time machine. Anything that has anything to do with time machine, we could throw that character in there. He's paid a visit to this particular person, and I'm taking your technology, adding it to Serpentera, and now we have Serpentera chasing the Tartarus through time.
Yeah, or the other thing is that the more Infinity Gems you collect, the more they want to like find
each other too.
So he could have it that with the 3 gems, he's like willing the time gem. He's pulling the Doctor out of time back to him.
That would be pretty awesome as well.
He's like, you thought you could hide from me? Come on. He's like, it's like a fish, and he's reeling it in.
Right, that would be really cool to see. And again, if they're going through different time frames and different places, this is a good time where you could add in like older cartoons, maybe some of the even though we've had it in the time like the Hanna-Barbera's, but like you could see like some older classic characters show up, from like the early animation days to kind of appear and having to deal with the situation, like a Popeye, granted. Things like that wouldn't necessarily fit in today's modern era, but it's like, oh no, what's going on type of thing. So it'd be kind of cool. And this, again, I can't think of any characters off the top of my head other than Popeye that just popped in my head, but like you could see more characters from yesteryear trying to stand up to Zedd, and obviously they're not gonna.
Yeah, they're not gonna do much at this point. So he gets it. He gets the time gem. He's like, onto the mind gem, and the mind gem is like. It's hidden it's hidden somewhere that not even it's like hidden in the subconscious of the universe. Like he has to literally go into like the collective minds of people to look for the mind gem. It's that well hidden. And at that point, people are like, we have to like Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors our way through this. So everyone has to go to the dream reality, and in order to do that, however, they got to make a deal with somebody of the triangle variety. So. They got to make a big deal with Bill, who's also looking for the Infinity Gauntlet. He's like, hey, maybe I can get this. And I even say maybe Bill thinks he's like, oh, I'm a god, I can take him on. It doesn't go that well for him.
Yeah, and this would probably be the scene when Thor hit Thanos. It's like Thor's a god, or when Hulk goes at him. When one of the heavy hitters in the original story go at him, and you just see how pathetic it was, like literally Bill can go, dude, I'm a god, I can do anything, and come at him full force and snaps his fingers and he turns into Play-Doh or whatever,
Yeah.
Or like the pieces of the pyramid just start falling like the Legos or something.
So after getting the mind gem, it's onto the soul gem, which is hidden in the ghost zone, deep in the ghost zone. No one knows where it is. So everyone's flying into the ghost zone. If he gets this last gem, we are screwed.
Right.
So they all try to get into the ghost zone. Even some of the ghosts would be trying to help, because he's like, if he gets a hold of it, even, we're in danger here.
And I think this would be a kind of good time to also, we could focus on, obviously, Danny Phantom would be heavy into this story, but we could even will the Ghostbusters within this, just for them to understand that this would be a thing in their universe as well, since it's all connected. We'd have some of the best minds like Egon trying to figure out, he goes, well, maybe we can trap him in that zone, and even if he has the gem, he can't do nothing because he's stuck there. And I think it would be kind of cool to where they would lead, we would write it to where it would lead people to believe that that's actually going to work. And then he gets trapped there, and they're like, oh, okay, it's fine. He got the last gem. It's okay. But he's there. He can't do nothing there. We made it to where he cannot. And all of a sudden, or he just materializes in front of them, and they're like, we underestimated the power of
it. And he wouldn't even say anything. He's just like, he just shows all the...
And this would be probably a great scene. You could have Egon just be like,
he's a god now.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just thought of what's his name, Vigo. We could. He goes, we faced Vigo. this is beyond that.
And even like you can have it like Vigo's in the he's dragging like he holds up Vigo's
Oh
head.
yeah, he just pulls. That's it. That's something they could have done. They go, well, you know, we have Vigo. We'll release Vigo.
Return Gozer on him.
Oh yes, or Gozer and Vigo. He goes, maybe if we put the two of them against him with Bill, or Bill already lost. Never mind.
Yeah.
With the two of them, maybe they can go at him, and two gods essentially, and he just beats the snot out of them. Each one he's got the severed head of one in one hand, and he's dragging the other by their hair, and they're just a bloody carcass.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, Peter would have a great quip right here.
So, anyone got a plan B?
You can see like Stay Puft coming in like, and is being blasted into.
Yeah, like he would. No, Zedd would like shoot a visor in to the face,
or like burns right through his chest, and then you just, you know, because the facial expressions are like.
And Zedd just like.
Right, and then they quickly the Ghostbusters. Danny would be like, I don't know what else to do. The Ghostbusters, we'll cross the streams. We'll cross the streams, and they try to cross the streams, and it's just like it's just being absorbed maybe into the gauntlet.
And he just shoots it back.
Like right out the fingers, and they all duck for cover. So this would just be all out mayhem. And this would probably be a good way to just start making some wacky shit happen too, since we're dealing with.
Could you imagine what Zedd would do to all these people who like? Could you imagine like what he did to like what Thanos did to the Marvel universe? Imagine what the Zedd would do to these people. Like he would actually like I could imagine he shrinks Godzilla down, steps on him, or
just shrinks him down and running around like a lizard.
Danny turns into like a puddle of ectoplasm
with eyes and just
he's
sitting there.
He's just like goopy. or what would he do to the Rangers? Oh my God, could you imagine what he'd do? Like he would save the worst stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't touched too much on them. I think this would be a good tale of them just being too far behind, one step short, basically.
Yeah.
They're always right there about to get the stone from him, and he gets it. And he hasn't done nothing to them all the way up until this point. And obviously,
he's like, I was saving it, you know.
Yeah, and they haven't caught on to that. They're getting saved for last because of foiling his plans for so many years. And I think that, you know, when it came down, they would be the last five standing. Okay, or six. Obviously, Tommy's there.
Yeah, and Tommy could definitely be like the Captain America thing. Is like so long as one man stands against you.
Either him or Jason. One of the two of them would have to be the one of it. I mean, still, even though it's the popularity of Tommy and he's most people's favorite, Jason is still during that era. He was still always the leader, so it probably would be him. Make the most sense to be the absolute final guy standing there. But you know, this could be also like a pretty interesting where like. You know how we have Dracon, who has a fusion of the two? Yeah. This could be how the good version of Tommy gets infused with both. Maybe Zordon's like the only other play we have, maybe that can stop him, is to infuse the white with the green, and maybe that'll be enough.
Or all of the powers of the morphing grid poured into Tommy or Jason.
Into Tommy, and have this one Ultra Ranger, if you will, stepping up. And I think what might actually be kind of cool is the Adam Warlock could have been Ninjor. In a sense, the wise, like he's the one. It's like I was, you know, me and Jaga, or me and the sorceress, and the doctor, and whoever else
had the gems.
We were the ones that split the gems up the first time, and they got all collected.
Because no one should have this kind of power.
Exactly. So, you know, Ninjor could kind of decide to step in there, and maybe he could be the one to help figure out how to kind of quail the power or damper the power. But this is also where now you have the likes of like Rita, and again, remember Starscream has kind of been plotting and scheming. One of the two of them would be trying to, is where they would try to get the glove off. And I think that would be the only way to beat the likes of him, is his ego is so broad, and he believes that Rita loves him, and this coward betrayed Megatron, which I'm sure we would find a creative way to write that actual fight. You know, he's like, he joined me and he helped me get to this, so he's not going to do nothing. Yeah. So the way he would lose, I think, would be coming from behind him, not in front of him. Yeah. So I think we would all, as maybe they take the glove off from behind him or whatever, this is their opportunity to take out Zedd or something like that. Otherwise, I can't, unless you've already thought of an ending, I can't really think of how it all...
Well, I kind of imagine, like, it would be Zedd, it would be someone like Rita or Starscream trying to get the upper hand on him. But I would have it that throughout this whole story is that Dipper has been a part of this group, and he hasn't been taken out or anything, mostly because Zedd's like, you're just a sweaty little 13-year-old. I have, you know, I'm not even gonna bother killing you. But throughout this story, he'd be like hiding and waiting for it. And the moment he gets a chance, he actually like gets the gauntlet off Zedd, slaps it on, and they're like, Dipper, take it off. It's gonna drive you insane.
I think it would be kind of cool to write it to where, like we said, the two, Rita could see her like there could be just this one arrogant moment where he's standing there with the fist about to take out the Rangers and Ninja or whatever, and as he's giving a monologue as he does, as they all do. Okay, and this probably where like you could have like Rita from one side, Starscream from the other, each grabbing a part of the gauntlet, trying to slide it off, and as they're sliding off, the two of them almost in a tug of war, it flips up in the air, and that's Dipper comically jumps up in the air, and it's like, whoop.
And then they're all, like, everyone looks at it, Zedd's like, uh-oh, and Dipper's like, yeah, uh-oh.
I'm only so sweaty because I'm in puberty. Boom!
He just, he wouldn't even, kill, he just sends them all, to the farthest reach, I don't know, the edge of the galaxy. He's like, I didn't kill them because I'm not them.
Yeah.
But at that point, he brings back everybody with the gauntlet, and the Rangers and everyone's like, take it off. Get rid of it.
Because you could maybe see him struggling just a little.
Yeah. And he's already, you could tell, it's getting to him.
Wearing them,
and he's looking at it. It's like the One Ring with him.
Or you could have maybe his sister be the one to talk him into taking it off.
Yeah, and before that, I'd have it that, and this is how it'd be, Tommy and the others are, going for the gauntlet, and then he wills everyone away, beat it. So, by the end of this story, I was thinking that Ninjor, a few weeks later, finds Dipper, and he's back at the Mystery Shack, and he's like, oh, you got the gauntlet off. He's like, not exactly. You see, at that moment where I became a god, I realized, yeah, no one should have this power, but having said that, this power shouldn't be in this universe. So, I'm keeping the Soul Stone, but I'm giving the other gems to the people I trust the most. My sister, my two great uncles, my girlfriend, my overweight friend. We are all taking a gem. We're hightailing out of this universe. We're just going to explore the multiverse, because being a god, I was like, yeah, this universe is so small. I want to explore it all. But rather than have all that power, I'm going to give it to the 5 people I trust the most. We're just going to explore the multiverse.
Interesting ending. I didn't see that one coming.
So yeah, that'd be the end of the story, is that Dipper and everyone from Mystery Shack goes into the multiverse, each taking a gem with them to not so much hide it, but more no, this shouldn't happen again.
Right, just to keep it safe, and as long as it's with them and they're just kind of doing their thing, it's not in the wrong hands, if you will. And then it would be kind of cool to kind of maybe end with what happened to the likes of Rita and Starscream and Zedd on the reaches of space, and then Rita and Starscream could just be arguing, I would have had it, everything we would have won, I would have had it, yeah. And then Zedd just goes, I got a headache, because she's always the one with the headache. So he would just be like, shut up, you baffling fools.
They're all right, Rita and Zedd are riding in Starscream as they're flying back to the...
Right, exactly. You see Starscream arguing with him from inside the cockpit, and he's just like, shut up, you fools.
He's like, you're slowing down on purpose. I don't want to get back to face Megatron.
Right, exactly. He's like, he brought him back too. Why would he do such a thing?
Because he knew he'd kill you, you stupid plane.
Right. So it would, to end on a comical, on them just not having any luck ever. But again, it'd also be really cool to, to see all of that just kind of go down.
Yeah. So
Universe, is this something that you guys like? Is it something cool? What would you guys do differently?
Yeah.
What fight scenes, or who would you have die? How would you have them die?
Who would you have the gauntlet, and where would you hide the gems?
Right, exactly, for sure. We kind of went with with Lord Zedd because it just made sense to us, and we've kind of seen some fan art with it, so it kind of let's go with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and again, you know, you could have anybody playing that role of Mephisto. It doesn't have to be the likes of Starscream. What would you guys do, and what would you like to see? And again, anyone out there who wants to help us make this a reality, you know where to find us. I'm gonna keep pimping that out. I never know.
No, you're totally wrong. You're totally right, man. But yeah, there you go. There's pretty much our fanfiction Infinity Gauntlet.
Right, guys?
So, yeah, there you go. And next week, I guess we'll stay in Marvel for a little longer, for one more time, because this time we're going to go a little cosmic. This next time, we're doing Annihilation.
Ooh. Well, guys, till next time.
See you once more in the universe.